I remember the day my daughter came and told me and her dad that she was on her period, which I cried, interestingly enough. OB-GYN in training and crying because her daughter got her period. But then I realized what that meant for her, and I wasn't sure that I could really talk to her the way that I wanted to about her body and what was happening and sort of what all of this meant. That is still a difficult thing for me, even as an OB-GYN. So I can only imagine for moms that are not OB-GYNs how difficult it is or has been to navigate and negotiate that relationship and that conversation. But the skinny of it is the reality is you just have to do it. Because the last thing you want is for someone else to tell your child, God forbid, misinformation about their bodies, what things should be happening, what things shouldn't be happening. And we are living in a very different time where children are able to get this information from the internet, which is not always the appropriate place to get information. So if in fact you don't know, it's okay. Because the one book that I wasn't given as a young woman was a book called Our Bodies Ourselves. I actually got this book in college as part of a class. And I was pregnant with my first child, interestingly enough, and the book was like amazing. And so I said to myself, for every daughter that I have, and I have 3, and I have 4 boys, but I have 3 daughters, my goal was to make sure that I educate them and hope that they're readers. And even if they're not readers, to be able to try to step out of my comfort zone and figure out how to communicate this. So my point is ladies, we have to educate our daughters. And if there are things that you are not quite sure of, this book also is something that would be great for you as well. And my goal here is to make sure that all women of all ages are able to grasp hold of this information, share it, and be able to educate the next one. And so that, of course, means educating the next generations, your daughters, even your sons. This information is very important for your sons as well. I talk to my sons about these things. Interestingly enough, I'm able to talk to them a little bit easier about this stuff. Why? I have no idea. But at the same time, education is key. And if we don't learn how to educate our children, then we definitely are putting ourselves at a deficit in educating ourselves about who they are and can become or will be. So, ladies, I would just say this. In terms of talking to your daughters about these topics, I try to keep them PG so that people can allow their daughters to watch these segments and to understand their bodies. And as we do more videos, I will definitely try to lay a few more things out that make sense. But of course, this can be with your help. So if there are things that you want to discuss or talk about, or you want me to discuss or talk about, send your comments, send your questions. That's what we're here for. As OB-GYNs, that's our job. Our job is to make your job a bit easier from time to time. And some women actually bring their daughters to my office and just say, let Dr. Rush tell you. And I try. And it's crazy because I can do that with somebody else's child, but I find it difficult to do it with my own. But if you find yourself in that same position as me, that's where I can, or your OB-GYN can come in to talk about things that may be a bit more difficult for you. So with that being said, send me your questions, your comments. Let's navigate this together, ladies. Talk to you ladies soon.